Well, I mentioned those new dictatorial pandemic laws that Victorian Labor Premier Daniel Andrews is looking to bring into force. I want to catch up now with former federal Labor MP from the seat of Melbourne Ports, Michael Danby. Good to talk to you again, Michael.
Evening, Chris. How are you?
Not too bad at all. Tell me why you think Daniel Andrews is doing the wrong thing here with these new laws.
Well, I can understand how people want to take away from overbearing medical officers the right to declare medical emergencies. But the Labor Party, as I understand it, is comprised of Democrats. And giving any person, including a Premier, the right to extend laws beyond 3 months to declare an emergency, it should be something that happens if you go back to Parliament. I don't agree with Comrade Trioli on the ABC, who said that it's not something you want to do in the middle of a pandemic. After 3 months, it is. Parliament is the place to decide whether there should be extensions to these emergency powers or not. And I think there's very few people in Labor who are able to speak up because there's been this intervention in Labor over the last 2 months by Andrews and Albo, where all the rights, all the powers, all the oversight that the Labor Party used to provide to its own government have been abolished. There was a report by Macklin and Brax into Victorian Labor. It's been finished for nearly 8 months, and still all the members, even powerful unions, have no say. So I think this is chill debate inside the Labor Party. And I think people are feeling frightened that their pre-selections might be affected. And I think that's why there's been so little resistance from Labor. I also think, Chris, and I think you've raised this, that the touchy-feely humanitarian civil rights, 3 upper house members, the Greens, the Sex Party and so-called animal justice, they give this impression to their voters that they're touchy-feely, nice human rights people, but they vote for every extension of emergency powers possible. That's also not on. I agree with the Bar Council. This is a bridge too far. If he's going to get extension to powers, as this bill appears to agree with or put forward, it should go back to Parliament. There are some Social Democrats left in the Labor Party, and we believe in democracy as much as social change.
Well, good on you. I think we've got to look at these powers. I think we've got to look at them in all state governments across the country post-pandemic. But I would have thought most people we need more democracy in them, more accountability, not less. And you mentioned the Bar Council. Senior legal figures in Victoria have likened these to Stasi-like controls, unlimited power to rule by state decree. So why have so many in the Labor Party ruled over this? You're a senior Victorian Labor Party figure, and you're saying that Daniel Andrews is taking a backward step when it comes to democracy and accountability.
Well, all of these people's, the federal pre-selections have been taken away by the federal executive from all Victorian members already. They have pre-selected all the candidates for federal parliament without members of the Labor Party, including the unions, having a word about it. And they'll do the same with state pre-selections if this situation continues.
So are you saying that Labor MPs are too afraid to speak up against this legislation because it'll damage their own political career?
Yes. They're cowed, they're chilled, and it's absolutely understandable. I think it's wrong, and I want it stopped. I wish, particularly the young people who vote for animal justice, which is basically just a front for the Greens, and the Sex Party, would look at these people, not vote for them next time. Don't believe that they're touchy-feely human rights people. They're not. They're crypto authoritarians, and they vote for this kind of legislation which extends the Premier's power. Now, imagine we had a Bolsonaro here in Victoria. Would the left or Virginia Trioli be happy about a Premier like that having such powers? I don't think that Parliament should be ignored whether you're left or right. I think the basic principles of democracy stand, and we should refer all extensions of powers, emergency powers, to Parliament. Chris, so many people are tired of this lockdown. We thought it was all behind us. This is happening too quickly. We don't want to see women in their pyjamas arrested in their houses again. I can understand how people are sort of annoyed with these authoritarian medical officers, like the dreadful woman in Queensland who suppressed the rate of vaccination of AstraZeneca. But giving a Premier their right to extend powers without referring back to Parliament is a bridge too far.
Well said, Michael Danby. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Chris. There are many good people in the Labor Party, and their views will come out when we get our power back.
Great stuff. Well said, Michael Danby. You heard him. Very strong words from a former federal Labor frontbencher criticising the situation in Victoria, criticising these laws and saying that so many people in the Labor Party, as he said, the good people in the Labor Party, are afraid to speak up because of the way the power is structured within the party. Very, very, very strong words there from Michael Danby.